Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
What a day we've got in store. Looking forward to great fixtures up and down the country. And all that's left is for you three hopeless tipsters to tell us how they're going to end up. What does the make-believe charity ACCA look like today, Hugh Keevins?
Rangers to win convincingly against Ross County. Motherwell to continue with the Stevie Hamill bounce and
Thanks
win
for that.
at Kilmarnock. St Mirren Hibs a draw. And Aberdeen to beat Livy.
Roger?
I'm not sure whether Hugh's been looking over my shoulder or I've been looking over Hugh's shoulder, but snap. Rangers win, Aberdeen win, Motherwell win away, and a draw in Paisley.
Gordon Dalziel?
I'll change up a little bit. Rangers win, Kelly Motherwell draw, Hibs away, and Aberdeen Livingston draw.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements. Cambuslang showroom now open to the public.
There we go. Whatever they said, you can rest assured that it won't happen. We've already got goals going in Scotland, not in the top flight though. Alloa 1, Peterhead 0. It's the headline writer's dream. Roger Hannah. It's Connor Salmon in the first minute.
Indeed, great start for Alloa. The only headlines this weekend though are my man Dippo Akinyemi, the new
What a start
hero
to
of
the
Ayrshire.
weekend.
2 goals and an assist last night. Ayr United 4 points clear at the top of the championship. There's not been a feel good factor like this since Gordon Dalziel was going around MacArthur's in the Club de Mar.
I think the less said or asked about that, the better. Are they this season's Arbroath? Are we getting carried away early?
Well, Lee Bullen is doing one heck of a job there. I mean, Ayr United haven't been that kind of force in Scottish football since Ali MacLeod. So they've got the rickety old ground there.
Hold it, stop a minute. I finished second in the championship.
Uh-huh.
I got to a cup final and 3 semi-finals, and you're saying they've not been a force?
I'm talking about playing in the Major League.
They're not playing in the Major League. They're playing the championship.
I'm
what are you
talking
talking
about going into the Major League.
I finished second.
Were you
What
bigger
party
than Ali
lad?
MacLeod?
Hold on a minute. Well, not in height. What party I finished second in the championship did you know grasp there?
No, I'm not talking about the championship.
That's where they are just now.
I'm talking about the possibility of Lee Bullen.
Good to see that he didn't take the
Ayr
bait though,
United.
Hugh
I know,
Keevins.
I know.
Absolute nonsense. They give you no credit whatsoever. I'll tell you what, Roger was far a better writer than you have ever been. Let me tell you. And so even was that David Friel, and I've never read one article.
Listen, he was like that as a player and the manager. He was the crabbitest man you ever.
Oh, he's crab it all right, and you can see evidence of that if you head to my Twitter feed. Now, apologies for the language used, but if you head to my Twitter feed at Gordon Duncan 7, I even stuck it on Instagram as well. There's been a bit of disruption in the Clyde One Super Scoreboard family this week, Hugh Keevins. So if you ever want to see abandonment issues played out in video form, go and check out that video. Basically, I moved house. I have moved away from Gordon Dalziel, out of the Motherwell area, much against my wishes, by the way. And he's been abandoned in the Clyde One Super Scoreboard car school. Him and I used to travel together 3 days a week. That is a thing of the past. I now happen to live a lot closer to Roger Hannah. So today we're environmentally conscious men. We thought we'd go save the planet. Why have 2 cars coming when one would do? So Roger Hannah kindly picked me up, and I knew this was the timing. Just as we pulled into the car park, Mr. Dalziel is sitting in his car, and he gave Roger Hannah a mouthful.
It reminded me of something you might see on Love Island. You know, where he has been
Scorned.
spurned. Yeah.
Hugh, on it, this is how it played out, right? Stop my car. I sees him coming round in his car, right? And I'm only calling him. And I sees a wee guy in the front, and I'm thinking, he's brought his boy into the studio the day. And then I went, I knew it. I absolutely knew it. They had the cheek to drop beside me, but the problem was my car was switched off and I couldn't get the windows down.
Can I
right?
just say, I'm glad you've addressed that, because a lot of people have been commenting on that in the video. I didn't even notice, but everyone who's replying says, I love how Gordon can't get his window down, so he just opens the door in the end.
Because I obviously turned off the engine, and I thought to myself, I knew one strand would go round. Now, can you imagine that car, right? Honestly, we've shared a lot of good moments, a lot of good conversation, talking about the weekend. You know, Hannah gets in. What are you talking about? Oh, did you watch Question Time last night? Right, absolutely bored all the way from here to wherever these
Not
boys
on a
live.
Friday. T Mac says, I loved how he didn't know where the window controls were. Alan Thompson, good to see Daz doesn't know how to work the electric windows. Spent 20 minutes looking. And along similar themes, really. Everyone who's
It's
who's
amazing
sent
how
a
people
comment
notice
in.
silly things.
Yeah, they
innit?
do. James says, should DL be allowed out unsupervised? Stu says, I've watched this 20 times already. Yeah,
I've got
it's
to
all
say,
there.
I was totally disappointed in you, G, but I knew it was going to happen. I knew that's it. The minute Mark Wilson's away, I'll pick you up, Gordon. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I'll try and get the hot seat. I've seen it all before the way he plays it.
Incredible. He was absolutely distraught.
Am I good at beat the pundit? I bet that was. Do you really think I'm better than Andy? Guaranteed.
You're not taking this well.
No, I'm not.
No, he's
taking
not.
it.
I told you, abandonment issues. A 60-year-old man.
That's
Abandonment
ridiculous.
issues. And I can make your day even worse.
Oh, no.
Right?
Why is that?
So, well, I've just moved. My life's in chaos. Roger Hannah turns up, and like, I'm a bit of a modern man. DIY and me, a bit of a complex relationship. I'll try my hand. And I was trying to put a light up, and had some other things going on. The full family was in, so Roger experienced this. And I had a text from my mum to say, Roger Hannah's a lot slimmer than he looks in his photos.
You must have lost some weight. I tell you.
Rangers fans might be interested to know that Liverpool are 2 up after 8 minutes at Anfield.
6 minutes, you're doing them a disservice. Well, they'll be 8 now, to be fair, but it was 6 when they. They're 2 up against Bournemouth. Harvey Elliott and Luis Diaz scored. Forget that.
Oh, got a goal.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And it's a goal in Paisley for the home side. St Mirren 1, Hibs 0. Stephen Robinson's men absolutely delighted with that start. I'm sure of course, what we said earlier, Hibs tend to finish strongly and get these late goals, but Keanu Bacchus has put St Mirren in front after 6 minutes. He's been a real find for St Mirren, Roger. The fans have taken to him quickly.
Yeah, very much. Stephen Robinson spoke about him there yesterday as well. You know, he got him the business done very early in the summer. It took a while actually for the paperwork to come through and for Keanu to arrive in the country, but he is already the darling of the St Mirren support. He is very energetic in the middle of the park there, and I think Stephen Robinson fancies his chances of staging a late push for that Australian World Cup squad if he keeps playing the way he's playing just now.
It's certainly changed a little bit for St Mirren. You know, they had a terrible start with the League Cup, obviously. They didn't even make out the group stages. He came under a little bit of pressure. All of a sudden, just shows you a win brings confidence, and then they've got off to a great start. Still a lot of football to played, obviously, at Paisley, but what a fantastic start. And you're right, he's made a big impact on that.
Always helps when you wipe the floor with Dundee United the weekend prior to that game. So good start. The Hibs fans will eventually tire of Lee Johnson's team always going a goal behind and always having to dig out a result.
Yeah, Rangers started well. Ryan Kent had a shot over the bar, but nothing too serious yet. Still Rangers 0, Ross County 0. Right, before we get back to Gordon Dale's abandonment issues, Hugh, I think we better get this up and running.
Okay.
The first half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Since 2000, 9 players have made a league appearance for Celtic who also have at least one cap for a country in North, South or Central America. Name them. Since 2000, 9 players have made a league appearance for Celtic who also have at least one cap for a country in North America, South America or Central America. Who are they?
Yeah, great question. At Clyde SSB, that's how you take part. You go over there, you send us one tweet with all the correct answers on it, but you need to do it quicker than everyone else. So get thinking, send us a tweet at Clyde SSB. I'll get Hugh to recap the question a few times throughout the afternoon, but you can also see it written down there as well. It's a good question.
Hannah's got 8. I've looked through over the corner there. Hannah's got 8.
You've really got it in for him this afternoon.
Listen, I prefer Chris to him now.
Producer Chris, he's not even with us either.
I know, I don't even like him.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a bad place.
Is it the company you miss, or is it just the fact that these two have teamed up?
Look, we were a team. We golfed together. We worked together. We travelled together. He abandoned me, and then this guy gets out with biscuits and all that. It just in my head. He's in fixing lads.
He's come
Honestly,
out,
he'll be cutting his grass next. Oh, Gordon, I'll come round and do that.
but listen, he's come away from the rural communities to live in the stockbroker belt. This is progress.
Yeah, he's abandoned me. I feel abandoned.
If it makes you feel any better, I did spot in his living room a full-length photo of you.
Need some living room.
Did you not spot? I thought you were an absolute cert in the hall, on the hall table, no less. Just to remind me of home. There is a picture of Fir Park on the hall table.
You know something?
And
about
remarkably, I don't know what sort of psychological games are being played. I'm told it is allowed to stay there for now. I thought it was
That's
a
just
cert to get moved to the spare bedroom.
That's the bed, Jim.
I know, I fear that myself.
I was too busy talking to your charming mother. Lovely woman.
Yeah, you would say that. Anyway, right, Rangers have started positively. Scott Wright had a good run down the right hand side, but eventually the cross came to nothing. You would expect him to have a lot of the ball at home to Ross County, but still that only goal in the Premiership is the one in Paisley. St Mirren 1, Hibs 0. Motherwell have started fairly brightly. I think Kevin Van Veen early on had a shot that was saved. It was a nice touch and volley, but ended up going straight at the goalkeeper. And then it was over to Dean Cornelius. He went wide from 12 yards. Good touch, but the shot not quite as good. So positive starts, but only the one goal to show for it so far. You've got your teaser up and running as well. And to those of you who are listening to the show whilst googling flights to Madrid and Amsterdam and Naples and so on, good to have you as well. I feel like that will be the way of things. There was actually a big chance for Rangers a few moments ago I forgot to tell you about. It was a flick on by Cholak to Goldson, who was a matter of yards out, and Ross Laidlaw had to sort of come and smother at his feet to keep the scoreline blank. If anything, it was probably a heavy touch from Connor Goldson that did it for him.
Is there any word of John McLaughlin having touched the ball yet?
No, not particularly. No, I don't think so.
It's going to be a long afternoon, isn't it, for County?
Will there be a Liverpool scout at Ibrox?
Of course,
Will there be more importantly, just for the eye-opening experience, will there be a Real Madrid scout at Tannadice tomorrow? Because Rangers don't play Liverpool first. So that was maybe a bad example. Will there be a Real Madrid scout at Tannadice tomorrow? We need to find this out.
I would have thought so.
Will he or she have ever been to Tannadice before?
I'm not so certain about that, but Carlo Ancelotti does his business very astutely. You don't get to that level of management without taking every regard of the opposition. I remember speaking to Carlo Ancelotti when Celtic played over in Milan a few years ago, and he revealed he's got family in Pennycook who have a family business there, and he knew all about Scotland, he knew all about the Old Firm, he knew all about the national team. He is a class act.
He's also won the Champions League 4 times as a manager, so he knows.
That's not bad, is it? Couple of goals. Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Stirling Albion 0, Alloa 2, Peterhead 0. And James Sands, who's come in a lot of credit, deservedly so, for his recent performances, actually gets himself in a bit of bother. He's out-muscled by Huwilla, who gets the other side of him, and as he's going forward, Sands bundles into the back of him and has gone into the book already. So,
well, it's a sort. I thought he was, for me, the best player in the park the other night there. I know he had one pass that put them in a little bit of trouble, but apart from that, I thought he covered Golston. I thought Golston had a ropey start. I thought Sands, he's passing, he's defending, he was getting into positions to cover danger before they had moved the ball into those positions. I just thought he was outstanding. I really did. I thought he's probably his best game in a Rangers trip.
Difficult start for him. And your answer, Hugh, I believe a few moments ago John McLaughlin did touch the ball after that foul. The free kick was worked out wide. County looked to try and get it into the box, and John McLaughlin pounced to catch it.
Well, I give Malky Mackay and Ross County due credit, because they'll be up against it for the vast majority of the game, but they have at least gone up the other end of the park and tried to get a goal advantage. So it's,
yeah, Tom Lawrence shot deflected off Cancola, goes inches wide. Joe Newell's been booked in Paisley for a challenge on Mark O'Hara, and FC Edinburgh through Uzi C have taken the lead against Clyde 1-0 up.
Well, just what you'd expect of the game so far. Rangers Ross County one-sided, Kilmarnock Motherwell even, St Mirren take the lead over Hibs, but everybody takes the lead over Hibs, and then we wait until the 94th minute and Hibs get an equaliser.
There's a name from the summer, remember, or from last year, sorry, remember him? Riley McGree.
Oh yeah,
We nearly knew him. No, Gordon Dalziel. It's not a quiz question.
No, I don't know him.
We're almost signed for Celtic. It looked
Almost came in January. and then
yes,
set
I
in
do
stone.
know.
He's-
Yes.
When the deal fell through, they moved on to Matt O'Reilly.
Riley.
That worked out okay.
Yes, that worked
Riley
out
McGree
very well.
scored for Middlesbrough, if anyone cares.
The reports, in
Mr. and
papers,
Mrs. McGree will.
Roger, that he's attracting attention from down south.
Well, I think, Gordon's touching about scouts coming up to watch Rangers and Celtic. People will be aware of how well Matt O'Reilly is doing. Not just at Celtic, but he's beginning to make a name for himself with Denmark's under-21 team, to the extent that he will have hopes of getting into the Danish squad for the World Cup in Qatar this winter.
Stranraer won his 5-0. Paul Woods. Rangers had a, I think, half-hearted penalty appeal waved away. I think it was the man who usually takes them, in James Tavernier, who went down in the box.
what we really need to avoid, really need to avoid.
Hold on, sorry Hugh, just to stop you in your prime.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
That large travelling crowd at Rugby Park is happy because it's Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1, and it's Kevin Van Veen. He started the season in good goal scoring form and he's continued it in Ayrshire this afternoon. A couple of good chances for Motherwell early on. Kilmarnock, the closest they had come was a Kyle Lafferty free kick over the bar, but this was a great goal. A pass by Spittle, beat Mayo to it and clipped it into the back of the net. Great goal, great start Motherwell. Kevin Van Veen.
Momentum for Motherwell.
Yeah.
They've had some really good results. Bit lucky last weekend with the penalty kick, of course, but
No, there was another one that got waved away. Don't worry, don't let Marvin Bartley trick you.
no. But
These things even themselves
yeah,
out, apparently.
exactly. Look, at the end of the day, it's all about getting those 3 points. Momentum going there. I said earlier in my predictions, and I know we're into the 5th game, I know we'll still get plenty of games. I thought this was going to be a difficult year for Kilmarnock. There were some pundits in here obviously way behind, thinking
You did actually, yeah.
I've got them second bottom, Gordon.
They might come back and win 5-1 this
Oh,
afternoon.
yeah, listen, they might climb the table, but I just think I watched them against Partick in pre-season. I know they added a few players, and Derek McInnes comes in for the tag of a very experienced and good manager, and I know he's had difficult games, but they've scored 1 goal and that's 10 I think they've lost already. I just think that it's going to be a long season for Kilmarnock. I really do. I think surviving, I think Mark or somebody had them in the top 6. There's absolutely no chance that's going to happen.
Roger and I both took Motherwell to win away from home, so you can always trust an old hack. But in case anyone is wondering,
Glad you said hack
Yeah.
there. I was wondering what the next word was going to
in
be.
case anyone's wondering what I really want us to avoid today, it's any more referee controversy, because Rangers, having had that half-hearted appeal for a penalty, we can do without it. Willie Collum, incidentally, is at Queen's Park today, so keep an eye on that one.
Interesting, Gordon saying Blair Spittle teeing up Kevin Van Veen. I read a piece through the week, Hugh, Blair Spittle saying the rest of the Motherwell team need to take the scoring burden off Kevin Van Veen. If he keeps scoring at the rate he is at the minute, nobody needs to worry
When
about
has
the
he got
scoring
now,
burden.
That's 4 and 5 in the league
Yeah.
so far this season. Well, it's not 5 yet, if you know what I mean. The 5th game isn't done, but this is the 5th appearance and a 4th goal already. Yeah, 2 from the spot, 2 from open play. Really, apparently a special pass this from Blair Spittle. You're going to want to catch that on the highlights when you can. Ross County have now had a player gone into the book. It was a tug on Tillman as he looked to break forward. Loturi goes into the referee's book. Who did I see? Was it Don Robertson, the referee at Ibrox? Is that right? I think it is. So there we are, 6:17 or so gone there. Ross County feel a bit aggrieved actually. They feel like there was a ball over the top that their striker was about to get on to. Pulled back, but they felt he was pulled back by James Sands in the type of incident that, had Ross County got their way, might have seen James Sands given a straight red, never mind a second booking, but waved away. Malky Mackay very, very angry at that. It was Hawula again, same duo racing with Sands. Malky thinks that at the very least that should have been a booking.
Well, in that case, Sands goes off.
Yeah.
So, in spite of me saying we could really be doing without a referee controversy, it appears we have one.
Well, look, when Ross County are aggrieved, it doesn't have the same impact. That's just the nature of the world that we live in, Hugh, because it doesn't get the same column inches or airtime. But saying that, rival fans of Rangers will point that one out possibly when they see it back.
And Malky Mackay's a respected football manager. He will have his say. And if he feels that the referee has missed an obvious opportunity to show James Sands a second yellow card, then it will not slip his mind in press conference.
Look, it wasn't given, so I'm not saying this is what James Sands deserves, but to try and describe the incident, Hugh, had that gone, it sounds like had it gone Ross County's way, it possibly would have been a straight red anyway, because it's he's outside the box, and Malky Mackay felt there was a pull on Hawula. So actually the first booking might even have been immaterial. But there we are. We go on.
Robbie Nielsen last weekend, in my opinion, wrongly stating that you need a strong referee when you go to Celtic Park or Ibrox. Well, I have no idea what he's going on about, because 4 bookings were handed out to 2 Hearts players, each booking perfectly justifiable. But Malky Mackay might have a different take on it with regard to his team at Ibrox and Don Robertson as a referee. You
can always spin these things a number of ways, because to stick up for wee teams, as I will always try and do, Roger Hanna, ever been as a fan of a wee team to the away section at Celtic Park or Ibrox? I mean, you feel your team gets a decision and there is next to no noise made in the stadium in comparison to when 50 or 60,000 go up in arms when they feel aggrieved.
I'll be fascinated to hear Malky Mackay's taking it. I'll be fascinated to hear Fraser Wishart's taking it. It's another refereeing flashpoint, as Hugh says. But the big picture, almost 20 minutes in, and we haven't heard any goal flashes from Fraser.
No, Rangers started well. The tempo's dropped a little bit, and a few flashes of encouragement from Ross County. Barisic has had a shot wide from 20 yards. We're hearing Livy are the better team at Pittodrie, but still goalless there.
No, don't tell me.
The Scottish connection loose at Sheffield Wednesday seems to work, because Josh Windass, who we know well, and Barry Bannon of them 2-0 up. And result of the day from down south, if you're interested: Man City 0, Crystal Palace 2.
Never a
terrific record at the Etihad. Crystal Palace. Pep Guardiola was discussing yesterday. He was asked if there was some variety of curse on City when Crystal Palace come to town. He laughed it off. He's probably not smiling now.
There's still plenty of time for City to get back now.
It was 2 behind to Newcastle last Sunday, and it finished 3-3.
And what a season that man's having. Or is that the same man that wound up Darwin Núñez to the point that he got sent off?
Yeah.
And now he's gone and scored at the Etihad to put Palace 2-0 up at Man City. What a result that would be. Tillman's now testing Laidlaw, 12 yards out, saved by Ross Laidlaw. So Rangers coming a bit closer, still goalless, only 20 odd minutes gone, so plenty of time. A recap of the teaser would be nice, Hugh.
Okay, since 2000, 9 players have made a league appearance for Celtic who also have at least 1 cap for a country in North America, South America or Central America. Name them.
Right, let's see if we can do some wrong answers. I'll try and find out if there are any particularly common ones, because that's always good to try and help people. That's what we're here for, to encourage and help and get you along the right path if you're not on it yet. Let me see. DJ's list looks pretty good. Declan Gallagher, presumably not that one. His list looks pretty good as well. I'm not spotting too many terrible answers on here, you know. I'm actually quite impressed. James, by the way, I'm telling you what a standard. I'm not saying they're all right, but Kieran's gone for Fortuny.
No,
he's not from that part of the world, is he? Colin McLean has gone for, well, a man we've not seen, certainly, Bernabe.
No.
He's also gone for Cameron Harper.
No, young striker, but no, he's not there.
Not on the list there at all. Alright, keep your guesses. And FM Dafty's gone Gutman.
No.
Didn't make any appearances, did he? There we go. So at Clyde SSB, keep your answers coming in, and I'll give you some more clues as we go on. I like this tweet from David. Are we allowed to promote this sort of thing? I don't see why not. I'm not doing anything wrong. He says, why pay 20 quid to see the Jags when you can stand at the canal? And he's just standing up in the corner. He's got a lovely view into the pitch at Firhill, enjoying the football for free, I assume, because he's just standing outside.
Well, the reason why it can't be promoted as an idea, you put Partick Thistle out of business.
Albion Rovers 1, Annan Athletic 0. Adam Fernie with the goal there. Rangers certainly coming closer here. So that little mini spell that Ross County had starting to fade into the distance. It'll be really interesting to hear Malky Mackay's take on that incident, because you use this as the barometer because we're so entrenched in our own teams. I'm even seeing some Rangers fans on Twitter saying
it was
maybe we got away with one. Well, we've got one of these at Ibrox.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And it is the home side, and it's the man who's only playing today because his suspension got overturned. It's John Lundstrom. A 25-yard shot deflected off Purrington and into the back of the net. An assist by the Scottish FA's appeals panel, and John Lundstrom has Rangers in front.
We go from European excitement and anticipation to domestic annoyance and conspiracy again, I would imagine. John Lundstrom free to play, as you say, because of the fast track tribunal appeal. Ross County without two of their key players because of the fast track tribunal system, and now feeling aggrieved that James Sands is on the park and that John Lundstrom has scored a goal.
Just quickly, Hugh, there are 10 now on your teaser.
Yes.
We've been quite good this season. This might be the first time. We used to do it for fun. It's gone up from 9 to 10. So 10 players since 2000 with a league appearance for Celtic who have at least one cap for a country in North, South or Central America. So it is now 10, it's not 9.
Who's responsible for this? Is this half marathon man?
No, is it? Yeah, but he's gone. I don't know where he is. Producer Callum. Since
He
that
gets
night,
about that guy.
since that night in Amsterdam, I think we've seen him twice max.
Ridiculous. I don't even know what it looks like now.
Anyway, it's a bit of a sore one that for Ross Laidlaw. Roger, it seems like the deflection really wrong-footed him. It's hard when ball comes through some bodies and the goalkeeper can't really do very much. I don't think Rangers will care. It's John Lundstrom. He's found the back of the net.
Yeah, it's going to be a long afternoon now, you would think, for Ross County. They seem to be, well, judging by the silence from Fraser Wishart for a long time, they seem to be defending well, coping well. They must have been getting up the park at some stage if Jordi Havola has been taken down by James Sands. And then, all of a sudden, midway through the first half, Lundstrom scores 1-0 to Rangers. And I tend to think they'll probably go on and score more.
Well, the sense of injustice that Malky Mackay felt at the time of the James Sands incident has deepened with the John Lundstrom goal. We won't get a call from a Ross County fan, but we will get.
We might,
we will get calls from other fans because yet again, it's unavoidable. We have an incident immediately prior to the Old Firm League game.
Malky Mackay, he will point to the timing as well, Hugh. If Rangers are 4 up and it happens, he said, well, you know what? And you know what? Even if it did happen early, we don't know if Rangers would go on and win the game anyway. But he will be quick to point out it happens at 0-0, I'm sure.
Yeah, listen, we've not seen it, Gordon, but obviously we're hearing what's happening in there. But the timing of it, especially early in the game, when you go to Ibrox and you're a team of Ross County and you know the attacking threat the Rangers have got. It's funny, Fraser and I were talking about the middle of the park, and Lundstrom will sit there and let all these players go and attack. He's the one that scores a goal. But it certainly helps if you can get Rangers reduced to 10 men.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what we're hearing is, I think Ross County
had a case. Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 1, Kane Hester with the goal. Rangers fans, if you're listening to this one, Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 0. Trent Alexander-Arnold on 28 minutes there. And Chelsea down to 10 men already. Conor Gallagher's been sent off, second bookable offence. Great save by Roos in the Aberdeen goal. Obalai with the header for Livy. Does not bad, got a good goal return from centre back, and he almost put Livy in front.
Dave gave us an amazing stat before the game started at Pittodrie that Livy have won on their last 3 visits to Aberdeen. I mean, that reflects poorly on Aberdeen. It reflects very well on Livingston. But Jim Goodwin, what is it now, 4 wins in 16, a success rate of 25%. He can't be doing with going down at home to Livy today.
They were good last week. I saw them at Perth last week. I'd seen them the week before, Hugh, losing at home to Motherwell in what was a terrific game of football. But he tweaked the system last week and it seemed to suit a lot of the players. Leighton Clarkson, wonderful free kick from 25 yards. put it down to one-on-one tuition from Steven Gerrard
Yeah.
at the time. This lad Majowski up front will score goals for Aberdeen. He looks a really good signing at £500,000. So that was why I took Aberdeen, like you, to win today. But listen, Dave's saying Livingston are standing their corner. Good luck to them.
Yeah, listen, I think whoever plays Livingston, it's a very difficult game. I think they just the way they set up. I think they've got decent players. They rebuild every single season. You know, Dave McDowell, you can say what you want about him. I love listening to him. I think he's as honest as, you know, his interviews. He just comes out and says it as it is. He doesn't hold back. But I think he set him and big, I call him Martin, set their team up absolutely brilliantly. And it will be interesting to see how that pans out at Pittodrie.
Yeah, I think I speak on behalf of the nation, though, to be really disappointed there that you abandoned that, because the phrase you were going to say is "as honest as the day is long," and then you couldn't maybe quite commit to that in case you got it wrong, so you just stopped. And I really wish you had tried to finish it just to see.
No, I was in total control of that conversation.
Right.
There.
Rumours of Liverpool's demise have been greatly exaggerated. They're
Looks
now
like it.
4 up.
Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 0.
The
Roberto
Rangers scout
Firmino.
has got back in the car and is currently heading back up the M6.
And
Seen enough.
Saying, Gaffer, rumours of their demise have been exaggerated.
Juan Allegria on loan from Rangers scores for Falkirk, 2-0 up in their game today.
Yeah, good game that so far. Montrose 1, Kelty Hearts 0 as well. Kerr Waddle on 31 minutes there. So
Queen of the
what's
South.
happening?
Queen of the South revving up for their cup tie against Rangers by being those 2 goals down to Falkirk. So
I thought that was some sort of joke, because when it gets to 10 minutes to go at Cowdenbeath, you can hear the stock cars revving up at the side of the pitch. That's got to be one of Scottish football's weirdest quirks, doesn't it? And by the way, we've got loads. That must be
you
a
must
layer.
have, you must have played Fife derbies there.
Played there many
Is
times.
that still a thing though? I assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been there, but
Yeah.
When I took over at Wraith Rovers as manager, that was my first game at Central Park. Couldn't be.
was it?
Yeah, it was my. It was horrific down there.
Did you stay for the stock cars in the evening?
No, I
Did
didn't
you not
stay
think
for
it was
any
weird
game.
that you're
I had to
you-
get home early. I was living in Prestwick at the time. I thought traffic might be bad. I'm away.
Did you not think it was weird that your Passat was used in the stock cars? That's why it was so
Yeah.
bashed.
I loved the Passat. Must
They'd have been handy, those stock cars. They don't have windows. You wouldn't have to worry about getting the window up and down.
Yeah, I'm taking a bit of stick for that. I've just had a text. People are looking at Twitter. I'm glad I'm not on Twitter. I would be feeling really bad about myself.
Someone
you're
tweeted-
telling me you don't have a secret Twitter account.
I don't have a secret Twitter account.
I don't believe that.
I don't, honestly.
Someone tweeted back asking why I hadn't bleeped out your language. I don't have the technical capabilities to do such a thing on the iPhone. For goodness sake, I leave that stuff to producer
I'd
Callum,
like
who's
to
not even here.
apologise for my language, but I was so upset that I couldn't hold back.
a grown man.
Oh, they pick up and everything. Try to get the window down. I was actually trying to get the window down, or pressing as hard as I could.
Gemma Owens got nothing on you.
You were too you were too emotional. I
I
think that's
was.
what it was.
I
You
was
were-
just raging at one strand here.
Hold on a wee second. Are you referencing Love
yeah,
Island?
there was a Love Island reference in there.
I only know the lady because her father is Michael Owen. He's one of the nicest guys
Is that
I ever
it?
met.
The only contestant you can think of? Is
Yeah,
that the only one
I've
that
never,
goes
ever,
onto your radar this year?
ever seen the programme.
You're not a Davide man, no. You're more of a. Never mind. Anyway, no more goals to tell you about in Scotland. Look in his face. I could have said any name there whatsoever. He's looking very confused. No more goals to tell you about in Scotland, or is there? Yes, very good. Can't believe we're doing Love Island puns on Clyde One Super Scoreboard. How the standard has fallen for anyone who has watched it and will get it. The rest of you won't. Ekin Hugh says David Field.
Yes, I like that.
You don't watch it either. So
I've never seen it. I'm with you. I don't watch that
Ekin
nonsense.
Hugh Keevins.
We're
If producer Callum was here, he would
He
do
would
the old
know.
Photoshop business
100%.
with the bikini, the
You
hair,
watch
and then
Love Island?
Hugh Keevins' glasses.
Mrs. Hannah's a devotee of the show.
Is that right?
Yes, I sit in the other room watching Question Time.
Are you and Mrs.
Every night.
You and Mrs. Hannah going round to Gordon's house tonight?
It's polite to wait for an invitation,
Oh, yeah,
Daz, but
okay.
anyway, Hugh, I'll see you at the housewarming.
Stranraer 2, East Fife 1. Look what?
And we're 35
Goal.
minutes in, and Mark Wilson now reckons there's been 414 goals scored in the Premiership this season.
He had a nightmare, didn't he?
He's good to himself, him, eh? Couple of weeks
Unbelievable.
ago it was Lady Gaga and what was it, Dirty Dancing, and Hyde Park or something. I noticed on his Instagram today he's done the old, that really annoying one people do where he videoed out the plane window.
No
wherever
way.
it is he's gone, and you can see. I mean, budget airline to be fair, so he's
I know.
fur coat and all that. But
he's sitting in LA and she's up in G. They couldn't even get seats together.
He's getting taken out by nervous pilot.
But honestly, there's something just not there with Mark, right? I've got to say, he's a very weird character. You go to Tenerife, what's the first thing you think? Sun, sand, beach, nice dinners and everything, right?
I hope none of this is a secret, by the way. I know where this is going.
I can't remember what was in it. What was it? So he says
a medieval night, I believe.
Medieval theme night.
And then he looked so confused that neither you nor I had experienced that on holiday. But we said that was a thing when you were younger. You would go to Spain, you go to a medieval night. Must have been, that's passed me by. I don't know. I don't know what he gets up to in his spare time.
Honestly, he gets up in the morning and walks through the park to see the birds and everything like that. He's just there's something about him.
Tell you what, David Friel's really outing himself as the Love Island correspondent of Clyde One Super Scoreboard. He says next time there's a goal you should say I've got a text. What's this guy? Honestly, you need to get him round to Roger Hannes for question time.
Yeah.
Well, he is the same. I can reveal Mrs. Friel is also a devotee
No, what you
of
mean
Love
is
Island,
you're
and he
both,
sits in the
you're
other
both
room too.
blaming. He's straight on it's Mrs. Friel, it's not me. Both blaming your significant other. That's very poor form. Recap the question, please, Hugh.
Okay, since 2000, 10 players
Yeah, 10
have made a league appearance for Celtic who've also had at least one cap for North America, South America, or Central America. Who are they?
Who are they? Oh, talk about something being wrong with this guy. He's listening from Tenerife. He's getting ready for the medieval night. He's getting his chainmail on as we speak. He's polishing his sword.
he's getting his big steel helmet thing on.
And he's listening all the way from Tenerife.
Usually you get the flip flops, he's got the big boots, steel boots on.
He says you are a cheeky. So good to know
he's listening. Imagine going on holiday and listening to
Hey,
right,
no,
okay.
it's a very good entertaining show. We like it when
Listen,
people listen on holiday.
last night's caller and Beat the Pundit was phoning in from his holiday in Mallorca.
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
Beaten roundly by Simon Donnelly, and then took his good lady for a Burger King to commiserate.
Some good answers. Do you know what? I'm not seeing too many wrong answers on the teaser. Not everyone's getting them all.
We've got 9,
but they're doing really well. I can see Andrew Garvin's giving it a really good go. Kevin McGowan's chucking a good name in there as well. So most of you are either getting some right or getting them all. So keep your guesses coming at Clyde SSB. T Mick has already given us the first version of Ekin Hugh. But I must say, I think, no offence T Mick, because I'm not great at it either. That's a pretty primitive Photoshop effort. I think we can do better than that. He's just stuck Hugh Keevins' face like right on top.
Oh, things you can't unsee.
Yeah.
no.
I'm hoping we'll get more of them sent in. I'll get producer Michael and Ross to have a wee look out. I had a feeling people would take on the Ekin Hugh challenge.
Is Ekin Hugh a person?
It's a play on her
Ekin
name.
Sue.
Right, okay.
Anyway, there we are. Oh, yeah, that's a bit more worrying because this one's. Is this producer Ross? Did you come up with this on your own? Not bad, although it just looks like a bald Hugh Keevins with a bikini and long hair. That one's even worse.
Oh no,
that's disturbing. That one, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Putting off my dinner.
A bit uneasy, actually, to be quite honest. But there we go.
I used to be on a broadsheet, you know.
Long afternoon for Peterhead. 3-0 down now at Alloa. Bradley Rodden has scored.
What did I tell you? Doing what he does, happening to see a team once and then making a snap judgment and telling you that he knows everything about them. I told you I went to Stirling Albion, Peterhead in the summer in the League Cup. My brother-in-law, who I went to watch, came off injured after half an hour, which sort of ruined the whole point of it. And Peterhead got absolutely destroyed by a team in the league below them. They named 3 subs, and I thought everything about that just screams tough season ahead.
Well, we had Prince Anora Sari in the Scottish Sun today. The signing, Jim McInally's latest signing from Ghana. I believe he's also going to bring in another midfielder from Africa and a defender from Africa and a Dutch midfielder as well. So maybe he agrees with you, Gordon, that he needs reinforcements into the squad.
Ghana to Peterhead is quite the footballing journey, isn't it?
Yes, via Surrey, I think.
Oh, right, okay. At least he's working his way north.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Peterhead?
Nice pitch. Nice
Wouldn't
little
have thought
stadium.
so.
Light up there.
And that's it.
Again,
Any news of the Bankies?
No, I haven't had any messages yet from the cup tie.
Oh yeah, good point. It's the Scottish Cup preliminary round today. Did you know? I think it got underway last night, didn't it? Syngenta beat Threave Rovers. That was the big one that you were looking out for, Gordon. You said you were.
Yeah, I was
keep
too
an eye on
busy
that one.
watching Mull team that obviously I was nothing to do with their history. Beat Dundee.
Good to see that one still stings.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got another goal at Ibrox.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And it's that man again. It's Antonio Cholak. Not quite Alfredo Who, because that will never happen here given his involvement and the way the Rangers fans feel about him. But certainly in the goal scoring front, Antonio Cholak is handling it all by himself. It was Scott Wright with the cross, a volley from the summer signing. Not content with early league goals, not content with scoring the goal that puts Rangers into the Champions League group stages. He's got another one today. Didn't quite catch it, but it ends up in the corner. And he's got that knack in front of goal, you have to say.
Yeah, Morelos' nose was put out of joint by not being the first pick. It'll be even worse now. But Morelos will have those talks.
Ooh, I think we're going to need to ban Bartley from this week. I don't.
He scored.
Has he scored?
No, they scored.
Alright, that would be quite something. No, but they're down to 10 men and Aberdeen have been given a penalty. So if he doesn't agree with the decision, who knows what the reaction will be like. It is a straight red for Jack Fitzwater. Bizawan went down in the box, who has had accusations of going down easily in the past. That's not to say he did this time, but it's a straight red card for Jack Fitzwater. Just used to be routine, didn't it? Penalty Aberdeen, Lewis Ferguson to take, Lewis Ferguson to score.
Who takes him?
Miovski, I think,
goal.
took the last one, didn't he, Roger? Have they not had one already?
Yeah,
I'm with Roger here. I think he's a goal scorer.
And now the Livy keeper's getting treatment for injury. Shamal George. Livy paid good money for him in the summer. It's
General.
It's not often Livy
on the carpet
pay transfer fees, but they did it for him in the summer and he's down injured at the moment.
You're touching Lewis Ferguson, make his Bologna debut tonight. He was suspended for the first two Serie A games of the season. Nice easy start away to champions AC Milan in the San Siro.
Oh, brilliant. What an occasion that will be. Hopefully we see some game time. The man who was standing outside Partick Thistle peering in for free is getting a treat. Partick Thistle 2, Wraith Rovers 0.
I thought you were going to say they let him in.
Stephen Lawless on 42 minutes. The Gordon Dalziel derby.
Partick and Wraith.
Partick and Wraith.
Yeah.
A legend at both.
No, certainly not Partick. Probably not at Wraith either, but we're pressing the button.
Since when? Miovski steps up for the penalty.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Yeah, no mistake. Miovski from the penalty spot makes it Aberdeen 1, Livy 0. Livy had started brightly, but the home side are in front.
Well, we've got two referee controversies now. And if it wasn't a controversial award, Marvin Bartley will make it a controversial award.
I've got no idea if it was or not, but there we go.
And the other one being at Ibrox. So very interesting to hear Malky Mackay at time up. Interesting to hear at half time how he reacts, because if it's 0-0 and you feel that Rangers should be down to 10 men and they do not go down to 10 men, then it changes the complexion of things.
Roger, can I just say what you've done to his confidence? You've absolutely shattered it, because with the whole car school thing. Did you hear that there? He just questioned whether he was a Wraith Rovers legend. Never before on the show has such a thing. He tells me that the full town should be named after him.
This guy,
the town of Wraith should be named after him.
I've told you this before. A number of years ago, when Rangers were poised to win the championship, they were going to win it at Starks Park, and Super Scoreboard decided to send myself and Gordon Dalziel to cover the game, and it finished a 3-3 draw, and actually the Rangers didn't go up into the following week. And we were driving and he said, "Have we got a car park pass here?" And I said, "No, we haven't. The car park's full. Rangers are in town. Wraith Rovers have told us we'll just need to park somewhere nearby." And he went on to the hands free in my car and he phoned the chief executive of Wraith Rovers and demanded someone be moved out the car park to let him in.
I don't doubt it.
And when we arrived at the car park, The man said, yes, you've got the chief executive space because he's parked down the street.
There you are. So don't let the fact that I'm sharing a car with him now damage your confidence.
Yeah, he
like
never
that. You're
told you
a Wraith
about the
Rovers
lunch you got
legend.
as well.
We did, yes, we got a free
Anyway,
lunch.
it's 1-1 with the Bankies, Hugh,
Oh.
against Bonington
Oh.
Thistle. If you're keeping track,
Why are you taking photos of yourself?
who?
I'm interested.
Hugh Keevins.
No, you.
I was to send it to my daughter. My daughter's with friends in Millport for the day.
Just
And
to
she-
say that
he
my
just-
dad
did
works
he just
for
take a
SuperScore.
selfie in the
He's
studio?
sending photos to himself.
They were asking. They're sending selfies of them from a place which looks as if it may serve alcoholic beverages in Millport, and were demanding one back of myself in the Dazzler.
Why don't-
Mid-show,
Yeah.
honestly.
See, before
the
you do that,
professionalism.
lick your hand and flick that wee bit of hair back.
Liverpool 5, Bournemouth 0. Virgil van Dijk on his 200th English Premier League appearance.
Well, Virgil van Dijk got a real mouthful from his teammates at Old Trafford Monday night. The performance against Man United was substandard, and it's as if Jurgen Klopp has said to them, look, they're talking about you. They're saying that perhaps this might be the start of us going over the hill. Go out there and show, in the week where we get Rangers in the Champions League, Battle of Britain, go out there and show them that that's nonsense, and they've done it 5-0 at half time.
I've told you that Scottish football is unrivaled for just these weird moments that crop up, and I just saw a great tweet there that I'll try and find again because it's disappeared, which is not ideal. I think it was Bonnie Rose in Stirling Albion. One of the assistant managers has tried to kick the ball back, a new ball, onto the pitch, and he shook him off and flew onto the pitch as well. Honestly, never a dull day. Taverniers hit the bar with a header at the back post. He was only a few yards out there. 4 minutes added at St Mirren Hibs. I suppose we could just round this off quickly then, Hugh. Let's do it, shall we?
The first half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Since 2000, 10 players have made a league appearance for Celtic, who have also got at least one cap for a country in North, South or Central America. They are Cameron Carter-Vickers, Fernando de Orneas, who only made 2 appearances for Celtic, so if you got him, you're doing well.
Yeah.
Diego Laxalt, Christian Gamboa, Emilio Izaguirre, Timothy Weah, Miku, Efran Juarez, Juninho, and Rafael, the boy from Brazil.
Some names on there. Well done if you got that right. All 10, especially when we moved the goalposts, having said it was 9. Third place Kevin Maguire, second place Sean White, and the winner was Andrew Garvin. I must say, RJ Demon, does he not have a part to play? He must have been on that podium because he's the man that was tweeting me and pointing out that it should be 10 instead of 9. So I don't know where he's supposed to rank on there, but anyway, well done if you got it right. We've got a cracker of a Who Am I that we'll get a bit later, and that is half-time at Ibrox. Rangers 2, Ross County 0. So Rangers in control, as you would expect. They've controlled a lot of the ball, they've had most of the chances, and of course they've scored the only goals. Malky Mackay may feel this game should have played out differently. James Sands had already been booked for pulling back in a similar incident. The ball went over the top again. He perhaps could count himself fortunate to not have been sent off, but he did stay on the pitch, and that allowed Rangers to then go and prove how dominant they were. Opening the scoring, it was John Lundstrom from the edge of the box, deflected, took the shot past the Ross Laidlaw, the goalkeeper for Ross County, and then the second, it's that man Antonio Cholak, scoring a lot of goals at the moment. Across from Scott Wright, didn't fully catch his volley, but it ends up in the back of the net anyway to make it Ranger 2, Ross County 0, and on their way to a routine victory. Hugh?
Yeah, the game's finished. Malky Mackay is a man well able to articulate himself, and if he feels that there has been a miscarriage of justice and that the failure to red card James Sands has had a material influence on the game, then he will say so.
Yeah, Don Cowie on the coaching staff is having words with Don Robertson as he goes off the pitch there at Ibrox. It's half time at Pittodrie, Dave Galloway.
Half-time, Aberdeen 1, Livingston 0. Aberdeen quickly out of the traps in this one, forcing a first-minute corner, but Livingston soon settled into this one. Newbley headed Holt's crossover, then Montano set him up to drive into the 6-yard box, but he drove wide from a tight angle. The Dons had a chance when Hayes burst through, however he curled his effort over. But at the other end, it took a wonderful reaction save from Roos to keep out Obelay's header following a Livy free kick into the danger zone. The home team put on some pressures. They tried to get back into things. Clarkson's header from Hayes' cross missed the target, and Stewart couldn't connect with his header from a corner kick. But the visitors were still at this stage probably the likelier side. However, in 41 minutes everything changed. Aberdeen went ahead from the penalty spot. Bissawin went down in the area under Fitzwater's challenge. He got a straight red card for that, and Majowski was clinical with his spot kick. Then in injury time, Aberdeen with a real miss, a cross from the left to Richardson at the back post. Seemed certain to score, but he somehow managed to put the ball wide of target. So an entertaining, interesting game. The half-time scoreline is scant rewards for Livingston's efforts, to be absolutely honest, but it's Aberdeen 1, Livingston 0.
Wow, Marvin Bartley will not be happy, that's for sure. I think it's also half time, and the Ross County players not letting this go either. They're speaking to fourth official Alan Muir as well. What happened with that incident? Rugby Park though for David Friel.
Half time, Gordon Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1. This has been a really good game. There's been so much action at both ends, and it's that man Kevin Van Veen who's put Motherwell ahead at the break. The Dutchman now has 4 goals in his last 5. He's the form man of the league, and Stevie Hamill's side did deserve a lead at that point, but Kelly have finished the half really strongly. They've hit the bar and will feel their way back into the game in the second half. Kevin Van Veen had the first chance in 3 minutes after Sean Goss picked him out with a pass. His touch was lovely, cut inside, but the volley was saved by Sam Walker. Then it was Dean Cornelius' turn to have a go. Connor Shields this time crossed. Once again, the first touch was absolutely brilliant, but his shot flew wide. Motherwell were pressing, he felt the opener was coming, and it arrived in 14 minutes with a brilliant goal from Kevin Van Veen. So much credit has to go to Blair Spittle. The assist was really classy. It was a through ball that cut the Kelly defence open. Van Veen beat Lewis Mayo to the ball. He shrugged him off and then produced a really clever finish as he flicked it past Sam Walker. Kelly, though, to be fair, came back into it after that, and their main danger man has been Kyle Lafferty. He put a 25-yard free kick over the bar and then wasted a really good chance in the half-hour mark, and he got his volley all wrong from about 8 yards out. But Ben Christine, on his debut, he's been really good. He's on loan from Aston Villa. He came closest for Kelly. He stepped onto a low cross and cashed a shot off the underside of the bar with Liam Kelly well beaten. That was about 35 minutes. Lafferty then fired the rebound over, and Ollie's shot also came really close as Motherwell's lead stayed intact just. So Stevie Hamill is on his way to another win, but there is life left in this game yet. Half time at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1.
It's also half time in Paisley, Gavin Pearson.
Yeah, well, Hibs dominated possession right from the word go for the first 5 minutes or so. But in the 6th minute, St Mirren ventured into the Hibs half for the very first time, and Ryan Strain dropped a low cross into the 6-yard area, and Keanu Bacchus really couldn't miss. Hibs then had to contend with more pressure. Joe Newell was the first to be booked for a tackle on O'Hara over on the left side, and then 2 minutes later Ellie Yuan went into the book for a tackle on Ryan Strain, who was a constant threat throughout this first half. On exactly half an hour, Ryan Porteous had stayed up after a set piece. He was on the left, he delivered an excellent cross, an in-swinging cross, which Doyce tried to glance inside the far post, and if he got a little bit more on it, then it would have been the equaliser, because Carson wouldn't have had a chance, but that just drifted past the far post, and that really has been the only chance that Hibs have had, although they've had most of the possession. St Mirren have been happy to soak it up and actually look more a threat going on the break, and actually the two sides look like the side who are like to get a second to score next here in this one. But Hibs again going behind, and Lee Johnson might think about changing things. The 3 up front maybe hasn't worked quite as well as he'd hoped, but we'll see what happens in the second half. Half time here, it's St Mirren 1, Hibs 0.
And we'll do a full roundup of those half-time scores next.
The fastest goals, the experts' opinions. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Half-time scores in the Scottish Premiership: Aberdeen 1, Livingston 0, Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1, Rangers 2, Ross County 0, and St Mirren 1, Hibs 0. In the Championship, Hamilton Accies 0, Arbroath 0, Inverness 0, Morton 0, Partick Thistle 2, Raith Rovers 1, and Queen's Park 1, Cove Rangers 0. In Scottish League 1, Alloa 3, Peterhead 0, Dunfermline 0, Airdrie 0, FC Edinburgh 1, Clyde 0, Falkirk 2, Queen of the South 0, and Montrose 1, Kelty Hearts 0. In League 2, Albion Rovers 1, Annan 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Stirling Albion 0, Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 1, Forfar 0, Stenhousemuir 2, and Stranraer 2, East Fife 1. The English Premier League to finish for you. A full-time result from earlier: Southampton 0, Man United 1, Brentford 0, Everton 1 at the break, Brighton 0, Leeds 0, Chelsea 0, Leicester 0, Liverpool 5, Bournemouth 0, and Man City 0, Crystal Palace 2. We'll have the second halves from Scotland coming up next.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Taggart's Motor Group. Already own a Land Rover, Jaguar or Volvo and itching to change it, switch it up, trade it in? They've got superb trade-in deals right now. Call in for a chat. Taggart's, part of the Lookers family.
Find the car that's right for you in a few clicks with the Mercedes-Benz online showroom. Compare all available cars from SUVs to cabriolets and all-electric cars to plug-in hybrids. See all the latest retailer offers in one place and get an instant guaranteed part exchange valuation on your current vehicle. Sensationally simple. Search Mercedes-Benz online showroom and buy online today. T's and C's apply.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Still half time round the country then, waiting on the second half's getting underway. Talk of a potential change for Rangers at the break. Leon King was going through quite a warm-up for Rangers, maybe an obvious one to replace James Sands, Gordon, given that in some people's mind, particularly Malky Mackay, he should have been sent off in the first half.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's on a yellow. I think the referee may be sitting in the dressing room thinking, I think I called that wrong. I don't know, I've not seen it, Gordon. I'm just taking on board what I'm hearing. I think it makes sense. The game, Hugh's quite right. The game's gone from Ross County. You expect Rangers will dominate most of the second half, and it's a good opportunity to give a young player a chance and give him good 45 minutes. I like him. I think he's got a great future, but he needs game time for me.
Yeah, he has come on, Leon King for James Sands. Adam Devine was also out there as well, warming up, but he's not come on yet. So just Leon King at the moment. And with that in mind, let's get these second halves up and running.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements. Cambuslang showroom now open to the public.
The controversy in the mind of Malky Mackay just has to wait until later, Hugh. This is now not going to impact the game going forward. It looks like it's going to be one of those routine afternoons for Rangers, and then we find out what he made of it. But in terms of what the next 45 minutes holds, more of the same, do you expect?
I don't expect any change to the complexion of the match, with Rangers going towards the Ross County goal. The game, to all intents and purposes, is already over. It's just a case of whether Rangers can add to the goal tally.
And can you imagine being the Bournemouth manager? 5-0 down at Anfield at half time. You say to them, listen boys, go out, keep it tight for 10 minutes,
win the second half. The worst shout of all time. 46
minutes, a Chris Mepham own goal, Liverpool 6 Bournemouth 0.
I wonder if because we are fickle, right? Let's be honest, we are so fickle, so knee-jerk. I wonder if the mood amongst the Rangers fans about the chances of beating Liverpool have flipped on this one day, because some of the talk during the week was, you never know, Liverpool haven't started the season well. 6-0 up at home to Bournemouth, 46 minutes gone.
And you can only imagine it will get worse. As I say, I think Jurgen Klopp has said to them pre-match, people are saying this is the start of Liverpool going over the hill, so go out there and show them. And they have done. You have to be realistic. Liverpool, either at Ibrox or at Anfield, are a formidable prospect. The biggest test in the group, because Napoli away and Ajax away, this tactically astute Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, you never know, might get something.
Yeah, County made a change at the break as well. Similar situation. Jordan Tilson for Victor Latourie. He was also booked and had some fouls afterwards for Ross County. So taking action there. Montrose 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Rory McAllister only at Montrose because he booked a holiday during the season and annoyed Cove Rangers. It's worth repeating every time he does something. He's doubled the advantage.
If it's
of
good
Montrose.
enough for Mark Wilson, it's good enough for Rory McAllister.
I was going to say, this is the 5th week of the season and he's been to Lady Gaga and Tenerife already. The commitment levels.
Yeah, he's not interested in this show anymore. He's grown out it. I'm delighted he's grown out it, but yeah, he gets about, that lad, I've got to say.
I've told you the way that we cover these things is to try and make them about us or find a link. Chelsea won Leicester 0. Remember, Chelsea have been down to 10 men for most of the game, but they've now gone 1-0 up against Brendan Rodgers Leicester. You under a bit of pressure?
Yeah.
Or likely to vacate that post at any point soon?
There are rumblings, and the fans are not happy. Anyone can lose to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, but they did get a beating from Leeds recently, and perhaps the Leicester fans were encouraged by that. But he is, to use the only Glasgow colloquialism possible, his jacket is on a sugary peg.
Bit of a sitter, whether it falls into that bracket. Certainly a big chance for Ewan of Hibs, chance for them to get level, but it goes a begging. It was a cross from Chris Cadden. Miovski has gone close for Aberdeen. A Bizawan cutback cross heads it over the bar, so he was looking for his and Aberdeen's second of the day. It's a great effort for Kilmarnock. Dan Armstrong left footed from 18 yards, but it goes wide, so Motherwell stay in front. And it sounds like we've got a lively old beginning to the second half. So let's pause for breath with this Hugh Keevins. The Super Scoreboard podcast is sponsored by Taggart's Motor Group. Taggart's have Jaguar, Land Rover and Volvo showrooms across Glasgow and the West, so you can find the new or used approved car that's right for you. And as Taggart's are part of the Lookers family, one of the largest franchise dealer groups in the UK, you can browse thousands of nearly new and used vehicles in stock nationwide to find your perfect vehicle. They've also launched Click and Sell. It makes selling your car simple by using their trusted dealer network of over 150 sites. Why not give it a go today? See how much you could make on your old car. Taggart's have Land Rover showrooms in Motherwell, Darnley and the north of Glasgow, with their Jaguar and Volvo showrooms found in Hillington. Check out taggarts.co.uk to get your new or used approved Land Rover, Jaguar or Volvo today. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Find the car that's right for you in a few clicks with the Mercedes-Benz online showroom. Compare all available cars from SUVs to cabriolets and all electric cars to plug-in hybrids. See all the latest retailer offers in one place and get an instant guaranteed part exchange valuation on your current vehicle. Sensationally simple. Search Mercedes-Benz online showroom and buy online today. T's and C's apply.
It's really simple to make finding cheap motor insurance easier. You just go to mustard.co.uk. They compare policies from leading insurance providers to find you quotes that really do cut the mustard. Plus, with their cheapest online price guarantee, why go anywhere else? Make finding cheap motor insurance easier. Compare today with mustard.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Details online. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I have played alongside Marco Materazzi and Emmanuel Petit. I've been managed by Alec Miller. I've got over 50 caps for my country and permanently managed 2 teams in 2 different countries. I have won silverware in Scotland and in another European country. Who am I?
Love that question. Give us those details again.
I played alongside Marco Materazzi and Emmanuel Petit. I've been managed by Alec Miller. I've got over 50 caps for my country and permanently managed 2 teams in 2 different countries. I have won silverware in Scotland and in another European country. Who am I?
Wow, what a question. At Clyde SSB, send your answers in, please. We took the executive decision to make it a little bit harder this week. I feel like the listeners, because the knowledge is so good, you've all been making really easy work of it. So we thought we'd just try and make it a little bit harder. And you know what? We can even give you more clues if you need them as the afternoon goes on. But someone out there will get that quick.
I had that until...
We've never had an occasion, really, where where people don't get it almost straight away. That's how good our listeners are. Top drawer, Alloa 4, Peterhead 0. Connor Salmon on 52 minutes. You're joking. Have you two got it already?
No, he's got it.
DL.
Yeah.
Abandonment issues, DL.
Yeah.
No way. We didn't make it hard enough then, did we?
That has made my year.
Devastated.
I got that before Hannah.
Brilliant.
You ruined my day.
Oh,
Travelling alone suits you.
do you know something? See if Roger had got that praise, pat in the back. Gail gets it.
Well done, Daz.
Thank you very much, Roger. I couldn't believe.
There's
One wee
a-
bit threw me there, but I went for it. I was brave.
There's a man who's had quite a week. Dumbarton 1, Elgin City 1. Ali Love with a penalty in 51 minutes. Clatters in to Alex Lowry in the Challenge Cup. Stretchered off. Rangers fans very upset with the tackle. Felt it should have been a straight red card, which it wasn't. And then Ali Love pointing out a couple of days later that then led to him receiving death threats. And that's the bit, I suppose, you all of that packaged in. We joke about Scottish football being run on spite, malice and mistrust, but in the first place we need to be seeing less of those types of tackles, and then if they do happen, we need to see more appropriate reactions.
Well, I said to you last weekend that the two Ross County players who missed today's game at Ibrox were guilty of terrible tackles, and the referee was guilty of not doing enough to protect the players. He sent neither player off, unbelievably so, and the SFA have had to clean the matter up. Now, with regard to Ali Love, I'm afraid it's a tragic sideshow of football in Britain that social media does have people who are capable of sending death threats. It's not for me to judge whether they're intentional, they have any possible notion of carrying it through, but it's just a sad fact of social media life in the 21st century.
Quite a lot happening here. Sorry, Miovski's put the ball in the net for Aberdeen, but the flag goes up. Connor Shields has had a low shot from a tight angle saved for Motherwell, and Hibs a first shot on target. Joe Newell low to Carson's right, and the keeper makes a good save.
Well, we can go back to Gavin Pearson about 10-5, because that's when Hibs normally score. That Josh Campbell late winner at Perth, Martin Boyle late equaliser in the Edinburgh Derby, Josh Campbell again with that spectacular equaliser against Rangers last weekend. They only seem to wake up when that fourth official puts his board up at the end of the game, Gordon.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the case. They do trail in Paisley at the moment. Motherwell have the lead 1-0 away to Kilmarnock. Aberdeen 1-0 at home to Livy. Rangers 2 up against Ross County. And you've got a full-time teaser that's coming in as well, and already correct answers. Told you.
Easy.
Lots of them. Yep, lots of them.
Not as quick as DL.
No, you would be the quickest out of everyone, I would imagine.
On the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine so. It would take some to beat that effort from you. Right, keep your guesses coming in, though, at Clyde SSB. Just read the question again, Hugh.
I have played alongside Marco Materazzi and Emmanuel Petit. I've been managed by Alec Miller. I have over 50 caps for my country, and I permanently manage 2 teams in 2 different countries. I have won silverware in Scotland and in another European country. Who am I?
Who am I? Great response you're still getting to your video that I posted of you on Twitter and Instagram, for that matter. I felt I had to go social media site. But no, honestly, great feedback.
I'm again slaughtered.
You're actually not really. No, once people are over the fact that you couldn't put the window down. Graham Donnelly, he says, I live out in Cyprus and I've just shown this to loads of Glasgow mates. We are all howling. says Graham.
I'm glad I amused people.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cyprus, what about that European draw that takes Neil Lennon to Old Trafford with Omonia Nicosia?
Absolutely terrific. Real Sociedad as well in the group.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's a great prize for a great performance to get past Ghent.
Well, Ali Love's got his second penalty in quick succession. Dumbarton 2, Elgin City 1. Hugh, I've got the update you've been waiting for. Alan Hudson reliably informs me that Josh Weir has just made it 3-1 to the Bankies. Have you got family at the game, did you say? Sorry.
My grandson Michael is there with his mum and dad.
Are they at home park?
Yeah,
I didn't notice the traffic when I come on.
Did you not notice it when we were in the petrol station? The guy came in with his Clydebank polo shirt on.
I wasn't in the petrol station with you.
Oh, it was Roger I travelled with this afternoon. Sorry, I got mixed up.
Oh, he's done you.
Hold on a minute. Did Roger not get in the petrol station? He probably filled up for you. What men did you want? £30 worth?
You joking? He drove.
Oh, so he did.
I sat back and enjoyed.
Speaking of Dazzler's video, I've just been sent a video of the medieval night in Tenerife. There are actually people on horseback jousting.
Oh.
He did say that was the selling point. He tried to explain it to us when we showed no inclination of what Mark Wilson was on about with his medieval night. That's how he tried to explain it. He said people joust and they wear, like, you know, whatever medieval
Can you imagine they do that and then they do that thing, you know, where they get somebody out the crowd and they kind of look at it and say, yeah, you sir, yeah, you the red face.
Him on horseback. Can you imagine? Oh, that would be wonderful. I would like that. I really would. Is anyone else, producers Michael and Ross, any other efforts of Hugh photoshopped as Ekin Hugh from Love Island? No, none yet. Okay. Penalty claim Rangers. Scott Wright's low cross hits Purrington's hand as he slid in to block. Fraser Wishart said it looked like a penalty to him.
Referee performs balancing act. Should have sent player off in the first half, did not. Second half, Rangers are comfortable 2-0. I just won't give them the penalty.
You cynic. Thomas O'Brien's been sent off for Arbroath at 56 minutes on the clock. The old fairy tale chapter 2's a tough read.
Yeah, it's been a really difficult start for them, and they did so well actually in the groups in the League Cup right at the very start. They won at St Mirren, if you remember. I think they won all 4 fixtures. They're away to Partick Thistle in midweek in the round of 16. But as soon as the championship fixtures have started, it's been really tough, and that was a sort of relegation 6-pointer, if you like.
Rangers come close. Ryan Kent curling shot, but it's headed off the line by Alex Iacoviti. Now, part of that sending off for Arbroath was clearly conceding a penalty. Hamilton Accies have scored it through Steve Lawson, and they lead Arbroath by 1-0.
Well, the bubble has well and truly burst. The bottom of the table, Arbroath. It's going to be, by the look of it, a long old season for them.
Yeah, and we had him on the show last week, didn't we, just after he signed, Scott Allen. Now they are working under Dick Campbell. Told us he'd been trying to avoid his phone calls for a bit, but he knew he would wear him down eventually, and he is now an Arbroath player. Just checking, they did indeed start the game today. We've got another goal at Pittodrie
with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And it's another goal for the home side. It's Ross McCrory who puts Aberdeen 2-0 in front. Remember, Dave Galloway said Livy deserved something from the first half, but they now find themselves 2-0 down. The first one, of course, the penalty, Livy down to 10 men, so perhaps the numerical advantage starting to tell in Aberdeen's favour. Powerful drive in off the underside of the bar from just inside the box. It's always something good when the ball goes off the bar.
He looks far more suited to that midfield, that sort of box-to-box midfield role than he does at centre half. He was centre half at home in that Motherwell game a couple of weeks ago. Didn't play particularly well, and he just looks a different player, particularly at a time when Aberdeen, without Lewis Ferguson, has moved on to Bologna. This could be a role now for Ross McCrory, and if he can add goals to the engine that he's got, he'll become a very good player for them.
Double change for Motherwell.
He's not on, the young kid.
Still waiting to see if the youngest ever player in the Premiership comes on. It's Joe Efford is coming on, Morris is coming on as well. They're both coming on. So Efford and Morris coming on for Motherwell. Hibs have made a change. Melkerson on for Eli Ewan. So start that stage. It'll probably be 60 minutes on the clock, is it? Yeah, pretty much, as teams start to make their alterations.
You can understand why Motherwell are not yet in a position to put a 16-year-old onto the park. Nice story though it would be.
You can't just do it for the sake of it, can you?
They're only one up.
I'll tell you who's not one up.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Rangers, because they are 3 up, and it's that man again. It's Antonio Cholak, really enjoying himself as a Rangers player. To think there were question marks early on in his Rangers career about his suitability to play up front. Well, he scored his second of the afternoon. He's absolutely flying at the moment in front of goal, and he's made it Rangers 3, Ross County 0.
What's changed his career at Rangers early is the goal against Kilmarnock. He needed the goal, he got it at home, and he's just went strength to strength, confident. I fancy him if he stays on the pitch the match ball they're playing with, I think he'll have it under his arm at the end of the game.
Yeah, nice one-touch move between Tom Lawrence and Scott Wright. Cholak with the finish, and it's 7-6 now for him, Roger.
Yeah, and every goal that he scores makes Alfredo Morelos' path back to the first team all the more difficult. He was left out in midweek in Eindhoven. He's suspended today, but suspended in midweek as well. And I'm not going to say he's not going to be missed by Rangers supporters, but the more Antonio Cholak scores goals, the less important Alfredo Morelos appears for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Oh, can you imagine Bartley's mood? It's now a second penalty to Aberdeen. They've got the chance to go 3-0 up. Lopez down in the box this time. And so will it be the same take, or will it be Miovski again?
Oh yeah.
Would you do that? Did you take multiple penalties in a game? Or would you mix them up?
No, I wouldn't give any.
Too selfish, yeah.
Well, it's all about waking up next morning, reading the paper, your name, headlines. DL does it again.
Well, we'll see if Miovski takes this
Front
one
page.
again. The Leighton McIntosh has pulled one back for Cove. Queen's Park 2, Cove Rangers 1. Similarly, Queen of the South have pulled one back. Falkirk 2, Queen of the South 1. Stop it. Let's wait and see if Aberdeen convert that penalty. It was Kankar with the challenge, by the way. He gave it away. Remember him? Maybe should have been sent off against Rangers in the opening. The opening day was quickly substituted thereafter. So he's the one that's given it away.
7 for Liverpool.
7-0 Liverpool against Bournemouth. Roberto Firmino with the goal. It's Bizawan takes the penalty, not Miovski this time.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And they're cruising now. Aberdeen 3, Livy 0, just after Rangers had gone 3-0 up against Ross County. Antonio Cholak in isolation, Roger, good for him, good for Rangers, but I wonder also for the likes of Ross Wilson, for the recruitment department at Rangers, who, let's be honest, although they got to a European final, did take a little bit of stick last season. People looked at and kept questioning, phoning this show and saying, how many recent signings actually come in and improve the first team? And Aaron Ramsey was high profile and Diallo didn't really work out, and there had been a few examples, but Tom Lawrence, Malik Tillman, and perhaps most of all Antonio Cholak, a real impact by the new signings this summer. It
is, and listen, they will probably all get a rest against Queen of the South on Wednesday night, and then they will enter a hugely significant period for Rangers as a club. They go to Celtic Park next Saturday. If Celtic are to win at Tannadice tomorrow, they would go trailing Celtic by a couple of points. It will be their first experience of Celtic Park, and then 4 days later, the Johan Cruyff Arena in Amsterdam in the start of the Champions League group stage.
Talk about floodgates opening. Is it Ibrox or Pittodrie though?
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
It is Pittodrie. It's Aberdeen 4, Livingston 0. Goodness knows how Marvin Bartley will be taking this now. Miovski this time onto a through ball, cool finish, clinical, and into the back of the net. Livy have been down to 10 men for quite some time now, and it is telling.
To be fair to Livingston, they don't normally come by out and out doings like this one, but I think I'll shelve the idea of sending pass and move a text. It might not be the day.
He's bottled it.
Who?
Keevins. He said if they lost, he was going to text Marvin Bartley and wind them up.
No, I'd be frightened of doing that. But here's where he's let himself down, the Aberdeen centre forward. If he takes a penalty and scores it, he's got a hat trick. That's what's been a striker's all about, seizing the
Double
moment.
change for Rangers. Your man's on, Scott Arfield. This is exactly the type of game he comes on and gets the fourth, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's come on alongside Rabbi Matondo, and it's Tillman and Kent who've gone off.
See, we've got enough troubles here in this SuperScoreBoard studio with domestic disputes and internal strife, and I don't want to worsen the situation. We've already got Gordon Dalziel in a huff, a Love Island strop, and we need to keep Marvin Bartley in one piece.
That was a quick turnaround. I didn't even spot the first one. It's Man City 2, Crystal Palace 2. Erling Haaland.
Bernardo Silva get the first.
There we go. I was obviously more focusing on the big league. Liam Kelly's just done the classic, Kyle Lafferty rushing to close him down, and the goalie just does him with a little bit of footwork. Goes round him. Fans love that, don't they?
Like that.
A double change for Kelly as well. McKenzie and Murray on for McInroy and Shaw. The 60-minute change, Roger, has become the 60-minute double change in light of the new substitutions that are allowed. Have you noticed that? Used to be a change in 60 minutes. Now it's almost always 2.
Speaking of changes, news just breaking. Alec Neil, former Hamilton boss, about to be confirmed as new manager of Stoke, and Hugh Keevins. He will be succeeded as manager of Sunderland by one Tony Mowbray.
Oh, what?
That's fast.
That is very, very
being
fast.
reported by Sky Sports News as we speak.
What do you make of that move?
Who for?
Alex Neil.
It's the 4th club he's managed down south, and
does it tell you that all is not well at Sunderland? Because on the face of it,
Sunderland's bigger.
massive club, brilliant fan base, and although they have been certainly a basket case, they've started the Championship season really well.
Yeah.
So to then, I don't know, money talks perhaps as well, but
you're right. On the face of it, it doesn't look right and doesn't make sense. But only Alec Neil can tell you why he's done it.
Roger Hannah seems strange to you?
Yeah, but listen, a lot of these things come down to money. Perhaps he's being paid more at Stoke. Perhaps he thinks there's more money available. There's a big transfer window closing on Thursday. He's maybe getting more funds there than he would have done at Sunderland. He maybe thinks Stoke are a better ticket to get him back into the English Premier League. But interesting appointment, as would be Tony Mowbray, once of Celtic, and a man who cut his teeth as a player at Middlesbrough, just along the road.
And will Martin Canning go with him then from
with Alec?
Sunderland?
Yeah, I would have thought so. He took the team today for a 1-0 home defeat to Norwich City. I would imagine
Alex
he would
Neil's
go with
former
Alec.
team.
Yeah,
of course. Hugh Keevins is punching the air. That can mean only one thing: that Brighton have taken the lead against Leeds. Pascal Gross on 66 minutes.
See, one grandson at the Amex watching Brighton, another grandson at Home Park Yoka watching the Paper Hankies.
Yeah, no difference there. Great moment, one of those that's going to be replayed over and over. It was a ball down the line at Ibrox. Barisic nudges Awura. He falls into the feet of the linesman, who falls over and ends up on his backside. Can't beat it.
You love the moments. The fans love those moments. Unfortunately, the assistant referee
Who was it?
doesn't.
Who wiped out the Rangers? Was it Josh Windass wipe out Pedro Caixinha? Was it on a slide tackle? Remember was it Rugby Park where the assistant referee was sick in the corner? Oh no, if you can't remember, that means it didn't happen, which is weird. If I've made that up, please tell me I'm at least close. I'm sure at Rugby Park the assistant referee was sick.
That's the difference. I would have backed him up even if he was wrong, because I would have travelled with him. You've just hung him out to dry.
Unless I'm right, and then it just shows that Roger's not the clever cookie that he always.
I think that's more likely.
Dazzler, if you do get an invite to the housewarming,
yes, 6th of May 2017, Rugby Park linesman vomits on the touchline. There we go. Andrew McWilliam, for what it's worth.
Well done.
So you're not going, you're snubbing him.
Oh yeah, I'm not going. No. After what you done to me today.
Trophy on for Ayunga for St Mirren.
You used to live in that neck of the woods. Maybe you can't go back.
Yeah, there are
bad memories up there for me.
There are certain orders in place.
Just don't mention you know me up there.
Dunfermline 1, Airdrie 0. Nikolai Todorov on 68 minutes. Luke Watt's been sent off for Stranraer. So lots taking place. Remind us of the teaser, Hugh, if you can.
Yeah, I have played alongside Marco Materazzi and Emmanuel Petit. I have been managed by Alec Miller. I have over 50 caps for my country, and I permanently manage 2 teams in 2 different countries. I have won silverware in Scotland and in another European country. Who am I?
Right, Kevin Maguire says Francis Jeffers.
Not the
50
box in the
England
box,
caps
no.
wouldn't have done, would it? A few. Van Damen, have I said that properly? Who else is on there as well? A few people going for Frank Sozzi.
No.
Celtic Till I Die is on there saying him. Stephen Carden says Momo Silla.
No.
Right, okay. Keep your guesses coming in then at Clyde SSB for the second half teaser. No more goals to tell you about at the moment, I don't think, whilst I was too busy focusing. 4 changes for Livy.
Oof.
The double substitution.
On.
Nubley, Shinnie, Holt, Montano all off, and 4 to come on. So quite the change there. Good save to keep Ross County at 3 or 3 down. Ross Laidlaw dived to the left to save a Tom Lawrence deflected shot. To remember, John Lundstrom's big deflected goal was what started the ball rolling this afternoon. Goncalves, Penrice, Longridge and Brandon have come on for Livy. So 4 subs at once. Brilliant.
I think
We've
that's
seen that before.
Never.
Actually,
Never. I've not seen that.
Since we went to the 5.
Never seen that. I think that's a case of knowing the game's away from you, deciding to get your.
The game's certainly away from him.
Yeah. But I think he's looked at it and thought, right, okay, get people on, use it for a bit of match fitness for them, and rest one or two. Well, not rest them, but just make sure they don't get injured, because
move on to next week.
100%. Been there. I've been in those shoes. I've made those decisions.
How do you think the medieval night's going in Tenerife?
I think about going okay. I think he can mix in with the best of them. It's just that big helmet I'm a bit worried about.
Excuse me? Oh, right, yeah, the costume he's wearing got you.
We should just call him Ivanhoe from now on.
It was a good save, that, from Ross Laidlaw. That was the last main piece of action to tell you about from Ibrox. I don't think anything else at the moment. Interesting game at Rugby Park, because although Motherwell probably deserved their lead, it sounds pretty even after that, and in the second half Kelly have been pressing and Motherwell have looked threatening on the counter, so maybe we've not seen the last of the drama there in that one. Similarly in Paisley, Hibs only 1 goal down. Have they got anything in them? Lee Johnson could be doing with it.
Well, yeah, as I say, if they score another time added on equaliser, then it's a story. It's a great story. They keep on doing it. However, I think people will be wondering why Hibs always need to do that, why they're always behind. And against St Mirren are one of the clubs that Hibs should be looking to get points from, but they're unconvincing. Martin Boyle apart, they're fairly unconvincing.
Last week the chat was Lee Johnson bringing the sniper in to address the players. This week the chat was Lee Johnson launching his new app that you can go into and study coaching philosophies.
Yes.
It's maybe a week for Lee Johnson to focus on his players,
correct,
his tactics, his selection, because were it not for 3 dramatic injury time goals this season, Hibs would be right down at the bottom of the table.
He's not exciting the fans just now, is he? That's the point.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
David Field got in touch to say Joe Efford's made a big impact for Motherwell, and they've conceded. Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 1. It's Dan Armstrong, did go close earlier on with that 18-yard shot that went wide. He was just getting his sights set up. He's made no mistake this time. It's Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 1, and very much game on at Rugby Park.
Oh, Derek McInnes needed that. So the game hangs in the balance. So we see how Motherwell respond. I mean, a draw at Kilmarnock's not the end of the world, but I'm sure that Stevie Hamill would not like the scoreline to go against him, having been in front.
Gives Kilmarnock that bit of confidence. You were talking about big Motherwell support, Gordon. Kilmarnock have been bringing in the crowds. I wonder if they're keeping them there, but he needs to get a home win. He needs to get his season up and running. And he's back in the game, so I think there'll be a winner there somewhere.
There will be no hat-trick for Antonio Cholak. He was denied by Ross Laidlaw, and he's now been brought off for Stephen Davis.
Defender holding on to what they've got. They've decided just to park the bus. Once again, game away, opportunity to mix it up and get players on, get them up to speed in the sense of more game time for Davis. But I think as a striker, and I know the modern day game's different, but see if I was playing there, especially against Ross County, especially the amount of ball that you're having, I'd be saying to the manager, please keep me on.
He's only fit striker they've got though, isn't he?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I totally understand it, but as a personal situation, selfish, I'd be saying I want to stay on.
Tom Lawrence has gone up front. We said early on Palace were 2-0 up at Man City. Erling Haaland scored again, and it's now 3-2 to City.
That's what we do.
And a word for our old pal Alec Ray, back with Reading, his old stomping ground Millwall, and they're 1-0 up.
Oh, Hugh will love that. He'll absolutely love it. Always talks about Millwall, doesn't he?
Is that not his favourite team? Millwall?
No, he likes them all, that's the thing. He's got a good relationship with all the former clubs. And 1-0 to Reading there at the moment. I said Tom Lawrence up front at the moment. Then Antonio Cholak gone off for Rangers, and maybe you don't need to labour the point today, Hugh. I think the point's been made, but that is the time that Alfredo Morelos comes on. If he's either not suspended or has been told in no uncertain terms by the manager, this should be the moment where he gets the game time.
Very interesting the coming days where Alfredo Morelos is concerned, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst is on record as saying he's going to meet him. Now, is he meeting him to say, you can see now that Antonio Cholak is by far the best choice for me, so you have to change, everything has to change, your attitude, your weight has to go down? Or Thursday is transfer deadline day, the Rangers think about moving him on.
Yeah, well, Tom Lawrence should now score, having gone into the centre forward role. It's a free header at the back post, but he's put it wide, and it stays Rangers 3, Ross County 0.
See, in that subject, Hugh, if they don't move him on by next week, I don't think they will move him on, but I think it would be great for Morelos, in the sense that the penny must drop. He must look and think, I was the number one, deservedly so, because I'm not writing Morelos off. I think Morelos, he's come back. He's not looked fit. Obviously, problems with attitude. Listen, we've all been there. We're human beings. I just think looking at Cholak, and it's a great sort of a competition to turn around and say, right, okay, yous have written me off. I am going to get myself back working hard. Because one thing you know about Morelos is he's a very talented footballer, knows where the back of net is. And if you get him right, you get him now. When Van Bronckhorst come in that building at first, everybody commented on he's playing with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
You get him playing like that, he's as good as anyone at scoring goals for you. But he's got to get back on the right track. That's a challenge. It's been thrown out to him now. And I think if he takes the challenge up, it'll benefit the manager and Rangers in the long term.
A first Premier League start of the season for Kieran Tierney in the 5:30 game. Gordon in for Zinchenko. Arsenal top of the Premier League at home to Fulham.
Yeah, look forward to seeing him in action. Double change for Motherwell, Maguire and Tierney on for Slattery and Spittle. Tierney goes through and goal almost straight away, but saved by Walker. So that's a double change in the midfield. So if we are going to see Lennon Miller become the youngest ever Premiership player, it's going to need to wait, certainly. Maybe looking a bit less likely now. The game's poised as well, and a couple of midfield changes made already. Kyle Lafferty's gone off for Kilmarnock. Cameron has replaced him, and it's that stage, isn't it? Jordan White and Josh Sims on, Danda and Hewula off. Too many changes to keep up with here. St Mirren are at it as well. Kilty for Maine. But if Jordan White does continue his remarkable goal scoring run against Rangers, it will be a consolation. We've got another goal at Rugby Park.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And the home side go in front. It's 2-1. It's Ash Taylor up from the back to find the back of the net. Great header, awful defending from Motherwell, but a powerful header from Ash Taylor, and the game has flipped on its head. Kilmarnock 2, Motherwell 1.
Didn't see that one coming. Ash Taylor's done it before. He got the goal against Dundee United on the first day of the season to get Killie a point. Looks like he could get them all three today. So the Stevie Hamill bounce did not work so far anyway.
It's the one thing, Kelly, they're dangerous at. They've got good height on their side. If you put good quality in there, they'll go and attack it. I said a couple of weeks ago, Gordon, Motherwell had to add to their squad, and people were talking about wingers and everything. I thought Motherwell, you could score against Motherwell easily. Obviously you're 1-0 up, go to 1-1, you sit in and you make sure you're defensively okay, because I agree with you, if Motherwell had walked away with Rugby Park today, and they might still do, with a point, it's a good result. There's no doubt about that. It's a good result, keeps momentum going. But to lose with a set play, that's a bit concerning. But Derek McKenna certainly needs the 3 points today.
Yeah, I fancied Motherwell strongly today, I have to say. Just the way the two teams had been playing, when Kevin Van Veen put Motherwell ahead, I really saw nothing other than an away win. So all credit to Kilmarnock for getting themselves back in it. They will be off the bottom of the Premier League tonight, and this is maybe just the kick start to the season that Derek McInnes was looking for.
And who will go bottom? Dundee United, on the eve of their game against Celtic. So
we've got an 8 at Anfield. Liverpool 8, Bournemouth 0. Fabio Carvalho. We're going to get to 10 minutes left.
Can you believe 8 goals and Mohamed Salah has got none of them?
Seriously? Is he playing?
Yeah.
He's had a bad afternoon. Scott Parker will be changing that cardigan next week, let me tell you.
Oh, do you like that?
I love it, yeah.
I
Big
can see you
expensive
trying
for
to,
me.
just a little bit.
Yeah, but look, we can all save up.
If we had a
Hugh
game,
is a man of many cardigans.
Yeah.
Are you going for the Scott Parker look?
no, I think he's an exceptional dresser, but that's a
the cardigan, Hugh.
no, it's a fashion faux pas for me.
No, I like it. I've got to
Any
say.
of your cardigans cost you £950?
Not all of them put together.
Is that what it costs?
I think round about that. I think.
Well, he's daft then. But
That's a payment scheme.
if we had a game
It's
in
a
the
mortgage.
Premiership where Celtic or Rangers were winning 8-0 with 10 minutes to go, people down south would be saying, it's Mickey Mouse League and so on and so forth.
True.
So
One of the
say about
journalists, Hugh, last week went into Scott Parker's pre-match press conference wearing a cardigan, and he had put 3 rings of masking tape round the sleeve to
dear.
mimic the fancy cardigan.
No. You newspaper men. That's
I don't like that. I'd have thrown them out.
That's some gentle comedy. That's not great.
Nah, that's no. Look, if you can't afford it, don't put masking tape around it. That's what I
Anyway,
say.
St Mirren changed Gogic on for Erehon. Is that his second St Mirren debut? Alex Gogic.
Yeah, yeah.
Mackenzie on for Coulson, Duncan on for Miovski for Aberdeen, but they are well out of sight. 4-0 up at home to Livingston. Rangers out of sight, 3-0 up at home to Ross County. The other games are a bit closer. Oh, no, tell a lie.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Rangers go 4-0 up at home to Ross County, and it's that man Stephen Davis, the experienced campaigner, back a bit more football in recent weeks than he had at the start of the season. Doesn't score too many, but arrived late to side foot a James Tavernier cross. Yet another assist for him, and it's 4 for Rangers.
Yeah, easy street. But you've got to say, I think the manager will be delighted. We all predicted that it was going to be a comfortable afternoon for Rangers. Obviously, we've still got to see the incident with the Ross County with Sands. Would it have made any difference? That's a big question, because Rangers are still at Ibrox, 10 men against Ross County. I'd still fancy them to go and win, but obviously Malcolm Mackay will have a different opinion of that. But once they get that, then they get the first goal. It's just a case of how many. It's been a real good week for Rangers.
Yep, and there's no pressure on Celtic because they're playing so well, scoring so freely, and they're coming up against a team who are in real trouble. But Rangers are now top of the league, and Celtic travel away, Tannadice, and have to do a professional job there.
Difficult week it could be for Ross County, 4-0 just now with 10 minutes still to go, and then Celtic in the League Cup last 16 on Wednesday night.
It's been a tough afternoon, that's for sure. Not so tough for Falkirk. Got a little bit tighter than they would have wanted, but they've gone 3-1 up at home to Queen of the South now, so the points should stay there, you would have to imagine.
Well, again, Gordon Dalziel's correct. If Rangers had even 10 men against 11, this might still have happened. But it would just be interesting to see and hear what Malcolm Mackay has to say about the referee and the James Sands incident.
Remind us of your teaser, please, Hugh, if you can.
I have played alongside Marco Materazzi and Emmanuel Petit. I've been managed by Alec Miller. I have over 50 caps for my country and permanently managed 2 teams in 2 different countries. I've won silverware in Scotland and in another European country. Who am I?
Still more shouts for Frank Sozzi. That's the most
9 now.
Is it 9?
9.
9 Luis Diaz, and a hat-trick for Erling Haaland.
9 getting on 10.
Wow. Inverness 0, Morton 1. That could be a big goal. Grant Gillespie on 85 minutes, putting Morton in front.
Yeah, new contract yesterday for Dougie Emery as Morton manager. Kept them up last season and is hoping to kick on, and if they continue and get up and getting results like that at Inverness, they will kick on.
He's doing a terrific job there, isn't he? Yeah, you've got to say.
You do wonder about Inverness, though. They got to that playoff final in May against St Johnstone, but last Friday night a bit of a beating at the Jags at Firhill, and then losing at home to Morton today.
So, late goals going in, sometimes they make a big difference to the outcome, like that one in Inverness. Other times it's just to add a bit more gloss to it, like Rangers at Aberdeen, both trying to outdo each other, both 4 up at the moment. Now, no matter what happens in the next 10 minutes or so, you will have your chance to have your say on the open line at 5 o'clock. So get the number written down, 0141 951 1025, and speak to us. Let us know what you've got, whether it's today's football, tomorrow's football, a recap of the Champions League stuff, We are here for you. Pick up that phone, please, and you can tweet us at Clyde SSB.
Can Mo Salah still be on the park? And Liverpool have scored 9 goals and hasn't got one of them.
I don't think he started. I think Roger's kidding him. But he's a team player. I'd be saying in my interview, it's not about me, it's all about what the team and the 3 points.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd be raging.
Don't forget 2 big games tomorrow. You can preview them as we mentioned on the open line. 12 noon Dundee United against Celtic, and then 3 p.m. Hearts taking on St Johnstone.
On the face of it, how could Celtic fail to win at Tannadice? A Dundee United side who have lost 15 goals in 4 games, bereft of confidence, scored 1 goal themselves in those 4 games, and they're playing the free-flowing, free-scoring Celtic. However, you never know the minute.
I like this scoreline for a number of reasons. Plymouth 2, Bolton 0. Goal by Ryan Hardy. He's Scottish, worth a mention. But scored against Bolton Wanderers. One of the great beat the pundit moments of all time, Hugh. We didn't elaborate, we didn't tell you this version of the story. When Mark Wilson got taken to the tiebreaker the other night and said that 340 goals had been scored already in the league and got defeated, the reason he got to the tiebreaker is the contestant he was up against was asked, well, they were both asked, who did Ali Crawford leave to join St Johnstone? Mark got it wrong. The contestant went, Bolton Wanderers. And it was Bolton Wanderers. Of all the 92 teams in England, he just plucked one out of the air and got it right. We've got another one of these. There is a 5. Is it Ibrox or Pittodrie?
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
It's Pittodrie. It looked like Duncan's cross went all the way in. You know, one of those cross come shot efforts and no one really touches it. It looked like it was one of those. Maybe there was a final touch, but either way, it's in the back of the net, and Aberdeen lead Livy 5-0.
5-0. Do you think game's done, Hugh?
Well, the tie over. Livy don't get doings, and they have got one, and maybe it's not a good idea making a quadruple substitution.
Yeah, maybe the game was heading that way anyway. Who knows? But if we're going to get late drama, it will have to be at Rugby Park, and it will need to be in the form of a Motherwell equaliser.
Very quiet in Paisley.
Or in Paisley, I was going to say a Hibs equaliser.
Motherwell could maybe do with Ryan Bowman back. I see he scored in the equaliser for Shrewsbury.
4-1 Stenny to Roberto Nditi has pulled one back for Forfar. Motherwell not offering much, so not looking likely that they will get that equaliser. Don't know if you're aware of a guy on Twitter. He's one of these statisticians. I think it's Opta he works for, Duncan Alexander. You ever seen his works? Mostly English stuff, right? But I just think this is quite funny. Bournemouth have now conceded more goals than Chelsea did in the entire 2004-2005 season.
Wow.
Which is remarkable. What is it, 9 or 10?
9, still 9.
A long shift for Ryan Christie, all the way down to Bournemouth with the dream of playing in the English Premier League and enjoying, savouring days like the trip to Anfield.
Yeah, something like that. Double change for Hibs. Miller and Bojang on, Doige and Cadden off. Not looking likely to score, says Gavin Pearson.
Well, there was always going to come that game where you didn't get the time added on equaliser. And as I say, I think you have to look at the progress of the team overall. They've got out of jail. They need to start living like free men every now and then.
And they've got a decent squad here. They have got decent players. But I agree, I've not been impressed with Hibs at all this season. I've really not.
And we're sitting here talking about Hibs because Hibs are a big club and they're experiencing problems. What about St Mirren? This would be 3 consecutive wins, 3 consecutive clean sheets. They're into the top half of the Premiership table. I mean, it all seemed to be doom and gloom not so very long ago. And then that fantastic goal by Richard Tate, which defeated Ross County, has somehow inspired them to turn their season round.
Ross County have brought a 16-year-old on. I know we were making a lot of the Motherwell one earlier on in Lennon Miller, who we assume won't come on to be the Premiership's youngest ever player. But Ross County have brought on Dylan Smith, 16 years of age.
Well, I mean, Malky Mackay can do anything he likes now. I mean, the game was gone by half time, so we might as well give the kid a a flavour of what it's like.
Great experience for a kid coming on. Okay, it's 4-0, but you coming on at Ibrox, he'll be absolutely delighted with that.
Ready for this, Hugh?
Go.
The second half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football. For the best football news and opinion online.
I have played alongside Marco Materazzi and Emmanuel Petit. I've been managed by Alec Miller. I've got 50 caps for my country and permanently managed 2 teams in 2 different countries. I have won silverware in Scotland and in another European country. I am John Collins.
John Collins. Well done, Gordon Dalziel. You got that one very quickly. The winners out there listening are Mark Patterson in 3rd place. Well done, Mark. Ryan 94 in 2nd place. And Daniel Miller was the winner. He was rapid as well. He got John Collins very quickly. And thank you for taking part. I like that. Good question. We'll be back with more next week. Let's see if we can get any late drama. Do you detect it, or is it all done?
All done. All done. Yep. You know, blow the whistles. It's finished.
Right. Okay. Albion Rovers disagree. They've
top league.
All right. Okay. They've taken a 2-1 lead against Annan with a 91st minute Charlie Riley penalty. 4 minutes added on at Pittodrie. Marvin Bartley will be saying get this over with. 5-0 down.
10-5. We're into Hibs time now. You will hear from Gavin Pearson at any moment, because this is when Josh Campbell, Martin Boyle, they all step up.
Out of that. You run out of that. I agree with you. You that only takes you so far. I don't see St Mirren dropping points here. I think the 3 points are in the bag. Hibs need to regroup. I think Lee Johnson's a bit of work to do at Easter Road.
And there'll be no cup tie for them midweek, of course, because they've been thrown out the competition because they couldn't add up one booking, and another booking makes 2 bookings, and you don't play.
Indeed. 3 minutes added at Ibrox, 4 at Pittodrie. Both of those games long finished with anyway on the scoreboard. 5 minutes added at St Mirren, so there we go.
There we go.
Hibs time.
If you're a Hibs fan, you would start to believe.
You fancy them to score?
Just because of what they've done so far
No
this season.
chance. Absolutely no chance.
Okay. Queen's
You can have
Park
a chat
2,
with him the way
Cove
home.
Rangers 1 is the full-time result from Oakleview, I assume.
Oakleview, it is. Great start for Owen Coyle and the Spiders up through the playoffs. I think they finished 21 points or 27 points behind Cove last season in League One, but already they're stretching away from them this time.
There was me thinking Albion Rovers had won at Annan, have now scored in the 92nd minute to level it at 2-2.
Good for them. So now we can understand that Rangers are top of the league and that Celtic have to do something about it tomorrow. Hearts, after I thought a wasteful performance against FC Zurich in the Europa League qualifier.
Thought first half they were excellent. I've got to say,
they were, weren't they?
I thought first half they were excellent.
Sending off just changed it.
Yeah, and by the way, it was a send off. Let's not complain about it. But I've got to go back to something and say once again, I thought I'll pay money to watch a boy.
Don't take it that far. Come
I
on.
would. I think.
Steady on.
I think. Do you know something?
Your own money?
No. I just think he's.
You haven't named him yet.
But everybody knows. Yeah, Barry Mackay. I think he's absolutely terrific now. I really do. I love watching his football. His range of passing. He finds passes that nobody else sees just now. He's absolutely brilliant, the lad, and you can't take it away from him. And that's all down to the years of listening to me years ago.
Rangers fans, you've got this to look forward to. Moral victory for Bournemouth, really, in keeping it single figures. It's Liverpool 9, Bournemouth 0, and it's finished. Much to the relief of Ryan Christie, of Scott Parker, of everyone involved. Full times continue. Hamilton 1 or Broth 0.
Could you imagine one of our reporters at that game?
Or
having to get through the 9 goals.
I did Celtic 9, Aberdeen 0.
Oh, Mark McGee was the manager, is that right?
Yeah. Somebody called Dylan McGeer wandered on and scored a magnificent goal that day, and the roof caved in.
I can sense we've got an update coming from Gavin Pearson, but I don't know if it's a goal or what it is, but he's going to get in touch. I don't think it is, actually. Sorry, Hibs fans, if I've just got you hyped up. It is full time at Ibrox. Rangers win by 4-0. A routine victory, you have to say. A range of goal scorers. Antonio Cholak, though, getting a couple, really taking his tally to a very impressive level. Ross County will feel aggrieved. Malky Mackay does feel that Rangers should have been reduced to 10 men. He feels that James Sands should have been sent off at 0-0. That did not happen, and Rangers went on to win very, very convincingly. I should say Tom Lawrence is down getting treatment for a knock at the end of the game, but he should be okay. We'll find out about that in due course. John Lundstrom got the ball rolling with a deflected effort from outside the box. I mentioned the Cholak double, the first, a bit of a miss-hit probably, but he won't care. It ends up in the back of the net, and a nice one-touch move just before the hour mark got him his second of the afternoon. Rangers made the changes as you would expect, and it was a experienced campaigner in Stephen Davis who came on and got the fourth with 10 minutes to go. So Rangers 4, Ross County 0. Rangers go top of the table and over to Celtic to respond tomorrow. It's finished at Rugby Park. David Friel.
Full time, Gordon Kilmarnock 2, Motherwell 1. You can hear the crowd behind me here. Kilmarnock are off the bottom of the table after Ash Taylor gave them a first win of the season. Derek McInnes's men were trailing to Kevin Van Veen's goal at the break, but Dan Armstrong equalised and Taylor then produced a bullet header for the winner in 77 minutes. Derek McInnes looks delighted, and no wonder, because Stevie Hamill's winning run as Motherwell boss is officially over. Van Veen and Dean Cornelius both are good chances. A really good Motherwell start before Van Veen scored the opener in 14 minutes. Blair Smiddle's through ball was perfect, and Van Veen did the rest. He shrugged off Lewis Miller and then produced a clever finish as he flicked it past Sam Walker. Kelly were toiling, but they came into it before the break. Kel Lafferty missed two really good chances, and then Ben Christine hit the bar. McInnes's men came out for the second half really fired up. They continued to up it, and they got the 2 goals they needed. Armstrong was really alive all afternoon. He got a standing ovation when he came off, and he came close before equalising in 71 minutes. Sub-Fraser Murray curled in across, and Armstrong didn't really connect with his header first time around, but the ball hit Motherwell's Stephen O'Donnell and then failed kindly for Armstrong, who buried his shot under Liam Kelly. Ross Tierney came on for Motherwell, and the Irishman should have made it 2-1 in 74 minutes. His low shot was saved by Sam Walker after he was put clean through, and that proved a crucial moment. 3 minutes later, Liam Polworth launched a free kick deep into the Motherwell box, and Taylor was totally unmarked. It was totally free at the back post to power in a header past the helpless Liam Kelly. Kelly could have added even more, but they took the 2-1 win as they got off the mark for the season. Full time, Kilmarnock 2, Motherwell 1.
So Kelly off the bottom. Aberdeen had a good afternoon at Pittodrie. Dave Galloway.
Yep, Aberdeen 5, Livingston 0. Aberdeen quickly out of the traps, forcing a first minute corner, but Livingston soon settled. Newbley headed Holt's crossover, then Montano setting up to drive into the 6-yard box, but he drove wide from a tight angle. Hayes curled over for the Dons after he burst through. At the other end though, it took a magnificent reaction save from Roos to keep out Oberlei's header following a Livy free kick. The visitors probably looked the likelier side in the first half, but in 41 minutes Aberdeen went ahead from the penalty spot. Bisawin went down under Fitzwater's challenge. He got a straight red card, and Majowski was clinical with his spot kick. The half-time scoreline was pretty scant reward for the efforts of Davy Martindale's men, to be honest, but Aberdeen hit 3 quick-fire goals round about the hour mark as the roof caved in on Libby. McCrory's powerful drive from just inside the box went in off the underside of the bar on 59 minutes. It was 3-0 in the 62nd. Kankar's tackle on Lopez. The ref pointed to the spot and Bisawin made no mistake. Then the Dons went 4 up a minute later. A lovely through ball from Hayes, converted by Majowski's cool finish. And the now rampant Reds made it 5-0 after 87 minutes. Young sub Duncan was some distance out on the right hand side. It certainly looked like a cross, but we'll say his cross come shot found the net to complete a very satisfactory afternoon for the Dons. Aberdeen 5, Livingston 0.
What about Paisley then? Any late drama, Gavin Pearson?
Well, there could have been some late drama, but not from Hibs. It's finished St Mirren 1, Hibs 0, and actually St Mirren could have regretted missing quite a number of glaring opportunities in the second half. They took the lead in the first half. In the 6th minute, cross from Ryan Strain that was met by Keanu Bacchus, who really couldn't miss from the middle of the goal, about 6 yards out. And since then, Hibs have tried to fashion a chance. They've really struggled with it. In fact, the best opportunity came to them right after the restart. Pretty much a sitter. Cadden's cross squirmed through to Ewan, who was at the back post for Hibs. And his first touch wasn't great. He still had a chance on the bounce to tap it past Carson, but he put it wide. And really that was a great chance for Hibs to level it up. In the 51st minute, Joe Newell collected on the edge of the area, right of centre, and he tried to drill a low shot to Trevor Carson's right, but the keeper did well to turn it past the post for a corner. In the 63rd minute, Chris Cadden again, who was looking at the best threat for Hibs, got into the inside right position. He tried to drill the ball across, and he was just looking for a toe poke from any of the Hibs strikers just to deflect it in, and I think Doidge came closest, but he wasn't close enough. Brophy came on for St Mirren, and with his first touch could have killed the game in the 68th minute. He was through one-on-one with David Marshall. It was a tight angle to the left. He hit it low, he hit it well, he directed it, but it came back off the far post. And in the 91st minute he should have killed it again. He robbed Lewis Miller, the substitute who came on for Hibs, playing it right back. He was robbed a few times, to be honest, in his short time on the field. But Brophy was one-on-one with Marshall again, and he skied it. And then, just the last kick of the game, scorer Keanu Bacchus, glaring opportunity to finish it. Hibs again, just sixes and sevens at the back, and the ball just spun to Bacchus. He was about the edge of the area, but he was right in the middle, the whole of the goal to pick. And as Marshall advanced, he hit it on the half volley and put it wide to the left. But they do get the 3 points. It's incredible for St Mirren. That's 3 wins on the trot without conceding a goal, and that's the first time they have done that since December 2008. Full time in the sunshine, a very happy home crowd here. St Mirren 1, Hibs 0.
And now it's over to you. What did you make of that then? Rangers fans, you'll be heading out of Ibrox, getting back into the car or the train or the bus or whatever and heading home. So what did you make of it? How pleased were you with the performance and the result? What about Cholak's goals? What are you making of him? What else stood out for you? Were your team lucky, maybe, to get away with the James Sands incident? I suspect that's what Malky Mackay will say because he was angry, so we'll look forward to hearing from him a bit later on. I am absolutely certain some of you still want to talk Champions League. Liverpool won 9-0 today, by the way, against Bournemouth, so feel free to get in touch regarding that. Celtic fans, for you, it will be a look forward to tomorrow, I'm sure. Dundee United away. And again, Champions League for you. Have you all been busy trying to plan your away trips? Let us know how you fared on that one. Kelly fans, how big a win was that for you today? Motherwell fans, is that a surprise? Did you expect to go there and keep the Stevie Hamill bounce going? And St Mirren fans, come on, you need to phone in, because a few weeks ago it was all doom and gloom and fears for the season. All of a sudden, 3 wins in the bounce, flying high and looking good. 0141 951 1025. Call us now, and the open line is next.
After the action,